Something that's helped me immensely with my decision making is a method that I got from a guy named Brian Tracy called the Quink Method, K-W-I-N-K. It's an acronym that states, knowing what I now know. If I had this decision to make again, would I say yes unequivocally? If the answer is yes, I put my head down and go to work and bring my dream to fruition. If the answer is no, then I cut my losses immediately because to prolong the experience only prolongs the pain. So now one of the hardest decisions that we have to make, we toil over this decision as entrepreneurs sometimes, is making the decision to pull the plug on a business that you've started. But have you considered that the business you've started may not be the business that you ultimately find the success that you seek? Did you know that Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and some of the most recognized entrepreneurs in the world have all started businesses and have failed? But the difference is that they realize that that just comes with the territory. That's the business we've chosen. And they've picked themselves up to go on and build the businesses that they wanted to build. But in your business, have you taken a look at your business lately to determine what exactly is going on? What are the indicators telling you in that business? Are the warning indicator lights flashing throughout your business? Kind of like check engine lights. And you've been ignoring those lights. You haven't been paying attention because to this point, you've been making emotional decisions and not good sound business decisions. And how much pain has that caused you? How much pain are you willing to continue to endure? How much financial pain have you had to endure? How much further has it taken you away from the wealth that you're trying to build because you're simply spending money on a business and you're not making any money? Let's take a look at 3 critical indicators that may suggest that it's at least time to consider pulling the plug on your business. Hey, it's Brandon here. If you want to improve your freight broker business, improve yourself, and improve your wealth, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I release these videos. And also, I certainly would appreciate it that if you like the videos, please go ahead and smash that like button. It does a whole lot for our channel. And because you do that for us, I have a very special gift that I'm going to give to you. Link in the description. So thank you so much. Now let's get into the business. So of course, I'm not trying to persuade you to prematurely pull the plug on your business. I think you know what type of businesses we're talking about. We're talking about the type of businesses that have been in existence for 12 to 18 months. You haven't done much at all with the business. The business is not making any money. It does not have any customers. And you don't have a plan to make these things better. Those are the type of businesses that we're talking about. And if you don't have a plan to make it better, we suggest that you consider at least pulling the plug on that business. So that's the type of business that we're talking about. I wanted to identify that before we move forward.
Okay, sir. I'm Buck, and I'm from the business and repair department. And what I've done is I done gone up under the hood of your business, and I found 3 things. And I want to let you know right out of the gate, buddy, it's bad news. It ain't no good news at all with this. You know, so now what you got going on here is you got 3 lights that's on. You got your cap light, you got your map light, and you got your traction and your stability control light. Now, I'm just going to be straight with you. They'll tell you some other stuff when you go in there, go inside. But when you got all 3 of these lights on at the same time, buddy, you got yourself a major problem. And really, ain't nothing I can do with this, buddy. Ain't nothing I can do with it. You know, if anybody can fix this, it's going to be you, I guess. But you got yourself a problem here. Now, you can go inside, and we'll let you go on inside and talk to the boss man in there. But if I could just tell you and give you a little advice, I'd like to try to give you a little advice if you take it from me. Is that okay? Okay, buddy. Here it is. If I were you, I wouldn't go in there and spend a whole lot of money. You know, you're going to spend a whole lot of money, you're still not going to get nothing done. These are catastrophic things you got going on here, these 3 things here. So, just thought I'd hand you my little advice. I've been here a long time, buddy. Seen these things come through here. And hey, we don't have an answer for them. So, before I get in trouble, I don't want to say too much. Let's go inside and see if the boss man can tell you what these things mean exactly. Okay?
So now let's first take a look at the CAP, C-A-P, that CAP indicator light that my buddy Buck was telling you about. It says the customer acquisition process. That indicator light is on in your business. That means that you very likely don't have a process in place as to how you're bringing on customers. And that's very, very important because we're talking probably one of the most important parts of your business, because you know that if you don't have a customer base a consistent customer base, an established customer base, then you don't have a business, because customers determine whether we have a business or not, whether we make money or not. So this is probably one of the most important parts of your business, and if you're going about it in a random type of fashion, just doing things, you're probably not going to achieve the results that you want. So I think you need to ask yourself 4 important questions. First question that you have to ask yourself: do you have a sales system in place? A system that you use to systematically bring on customers over and over again, written down, and does it work? Because if it doesn't work, if it's not written down, then it doesn't mean a whole lot, okay? So we want to make sure that it works. And how we know it works is that we've used it and we've gotten at least one customer with that system. And now you need to go through it and refine it maybe. But if you don't have that in place, that is a blaring alarm. And either you need to do one or two things. Either get it in place or consider doing what we said earlier and pulling the plug on your business. Now, we don't want to pull the plug, then we got to get that thing in place. We got to take a look at our sales system and start to implement a system so that we can win. Question number 2. Now, if you have a sales system in place, that's great, but do you target a specific number of customers every single week, every single month? That's question number 2. Question number 3. If you're targeting those customers every single month, that's a great thing. But are you going out and taking a look at your system and then doing assessments on what it is that you've been doing? Does your business track the targets that you set? And if that's the case, great. If it's not doing that, then you need to make some adjustments. And that's the final question, number 4, is, are you making the adjustments? When you're taking a look at your business, the way that you're going after customers, your processes, your procedures that you have in place, when you're taking a look at that as a whole, and then you're looking at the results that you're getting from it, are you looking at the data and then going in and making the adjustments based off of what the data is telling you, what it's telling you, what the story is telling you about your numbers, the number of customers that you're actually engaging, the numbers that you are actually bringing on after you engage those customers. So there's some things that we want to have in place, some checks and balances that we're going to have in place to make sure that we get the most out of our business. Because if we don't have those in place and we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, we get very minimal results, or we end up, getting results that are not nearly what we want. So take a look at that, and if you want to get better results, you got to plan for it. You got to put things in place in order to get those results that you want. And again, if you don't want to put it in place, if you don't want to do that, then you can always look at the option of pulling the plug. Because pulling plug is not necessarily a bad thing. It might say that this particular business, this one that you've started, may not be the one. Doesn't mean that another one won't work. And it doesn't mean that this one won't work, but you got to apply a different strategy if what you're doing right now is not getting you to where you want to go. Okay, light number 2 was your money acquisition process indicator light. Now, when this light is on, that means that you have a major problem, and it could lead to failure for certain. Because a business that's not making money is really not a business. What it is more of an experiment, okay? So we want to make sure that we are calling it what it is. If you have a business and you've started to make money, but you don't have defined processes in place, you don't have a money acquisition process in place, meaning you know how to go about securing the bag every single time. You know you have a process in place and you follow that process. If you don't have that in place, then you have a problem, a major problem that could very well shut you down, or it could continue you to prolong the pain and continue to pay for a business that's not producing anything. So look at your money acquisition process. If you have a defined process and you need to tweak some things, great. If you don't have a process at all and you've been in business now for 12 to 18 months, your business is not making any money, all that you're doing is paying for a business, then you want to consider the alternative. And that is pulling the plug on your business. It's either you pull a plug on your business or you put a plan in place to start making money. And it has to be consistent over and over and over again. If you go out and make $20,000 one month, that's great. That sounds really, really good. That's good for you, good for your company. But it doesn't really matter what happened in August because September is here now. So you have to do the same thing, or you have to improve for September. So it's constant. It's always, moving. Everything is all about getting better over and over and over again, continuing to improve. If you're up for that, go for it. If you're not, consider pulling the plug. Not necessarily a bad thing. So now if you don't have a customer acquisition process and you don't have a money acquisition process, that means that you have a business that cannot stabilize itself. It cannot get any traction. It cannot grow. And we know that businesses that cannot grow eventually die. So either you're going to do one or two things. You're going to put some plans in place that are going to help you to reach that point, help you to stabilize your business, help you to get some traction, get some leverage so that you can grow your business, or you're not going to do that. And the best thing for you to do, or at least consider, is pulling the plug. I don't, again, encourage you to pull the plug. I'm just saying that when you look at your business, if you're just going to be spending money on a business and not making money, then you have to consider giving it up and trying something different, because there's a reason why you're not making money. The question is, why aren't you making money? Why aren't you putting in the effort that's necessary in order to get you to where you need to go? It may be you just don't have the interest that you need in order to grow this type of business, in order to build this type of business. And if that's the case, where are you going to get that interest from? Where are you going to get the energy from to put it into that business in order to do what you want to do? And that's, of course, grow and develop a business so that you can become a successful business owner. That's the whole idea. So, again, I don't think it's about loving what you do. I think it's about seeing an opportunity within whatever business that you choose. And once you've seen that opportunity, then you have to put all of your energy behind making it be what you want it to be. I kind of go into things this way. I take a business model and I look at a business model and say, hey, I see that this is a good opportunity. And then I commit a 12-month period to say I'm going to give it all I have for 12 months. And I know at the end of those 12 months whether this is a business that is something that I'm going to move forward in, or if it's something that I'm going to say, you know what, I've given it 12 months, it was okay, but it's not something that I want to move forward with as a business right now. That's the kind of, real hard assessments we have to do, I believe. It puts us in a better position to actually be successful. Okay, so a quick recap. We just talked about the 3 indicator lights that could be going off in your business and you're not paying attention to them. Again, we mentioned earlier, kind of like check engine lights. We see them, but we don't see them. And we wait until something really bad happens before we take the car to get it checked out. But in the same thing with your business. When these lights are on, you want to pay attention to these lights immediately and either do something about them, in a way that says, hey, I'm going to correct this issue, or you might just want to say, hey, you know what? Now is not the time, maybe. Whatever the case may be. But it's kind of like a fighter sometimes. I don't know if you saw the last fight with Wilder. But Wilder is this, great fighter. He's a warrior, so to speak. And, according to him, he would never have given up in that fight that he had with Tyson Fury. So his corner threw in the towel. So sometimes we have to save our business from itself, because the business is not going to throw in a towel. It's a warrior. It's going to keep going. It'll just sit there. And you, as a business owner, you're paying for it to just sit there. And that's what we really have to get our head wrapped around, is that, we'd have to remove emotions and deal with the actual facts. We have some emotions tied into businesses sometimes, and we don't want to shut down because, we got to, face the world now, face our friends and families, and we have to tell them that we failed. And that's okay, because failing is just an opportunity to start again when you really look at it. So don't look at failure in a way that means it's the end. It could be the start to a new beginning. So that's the kind of way that I think that we need to look at these things sometimes. Some businesses that we start just don't work. That's just how it goes. But we live to fight another day when we recognize that there's a problem and we do something about it. Whether that is fixing it or deciding, hey, this business right here, this one is not going to work. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate your time. Wish you the very best in all that you endeavor to do. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.